Hello, students and possibly parents. I am Mr. Fleming, and this is a little video overview of the information that you will find in my syllabus, as well as a brief introduction to the class. I know this is going to be strange this year, so we're working with it to see how we can make it better. But this is introduction to the two classes I'm teaching this year, chemistry and AP chemistry. And first off, a little bit about myself. I'm Mr. Fleming. I was actually a Tucson High student in the 90s. I got my magnet endorsements in performing arts and sciences at the time. I received my bachelor's in science degree from the University of Arizona in geosciences, and I'm working on my master's right now in environmental geoscience, and it's online just like you guys, so I'm going through a lot of the same stuff that you are going through. This is my 6th year teaching science at Tucson High, and you can get my email address and my Zoom ID number as well, so you can send me messages or take my class or show up for class. And what I have in these pictures is just a little bit about me more personally. I used to be a professional dancer on a student working basis, so you will find some of that if you do some Google searches. I also did some work in field sciences. Right now, I do collaboration with WGBH. That's a TV show in Boston, or a TV station in Boston, Massachusetts. And they do shows like Nova and Nature. And I'm one of their teacher advisors. So I will sometimes tell you guys that you have to watch this documentary for extra credit and tell me what you think, because we're trying to make good classroom content for everybody. I have a terrible addiction to bad jokes and memes, so you're going to get a lot of that. I'm not sorry. And in my free time, I have weird hobbies. One of them is I'm a beekeeper, and this is my beehive in the backyard that I took a picture of just about a week ago. Now, the year at a glance, and all of this information is going to be up where you guys can access it as well, so you don't need to take notes. Chemistry class has its 4 quarters outlined, what we're going to be covering, and you can actually get all of that information from TUSD's curriculum department, and the link is there. Again, you'll be able to just grab these slides from the internet, so you could check them out. AP follows a different structure. It is dictated by the College Board, and we will be following that pretty closely, because what happened this past year is they locked everything down, and the College Board said, you don't need to do units 8 or 9. And we'd already done 8 in my class, but we need to go back and cover some of the stuff that we dropped. But they do show you about how much percentage everything is on the AP exam, so I'll be working with you all on how to get the maximum score possible. Our schedule is going to be weird this year. The basic idea is before class meets each week, there'll be 45 minutes of you working ahead of time. You want to get an introduction to some of the materials. There will be reading assignments or quick assignments on Apex, or even videos that myself and the other chemistry teacher at Tucson High put together. And it will be necessary that you do a little bit of that ahead of class so that you can come in ready to learn. In class, we'll tend to start with just a little comprehension quiz about the assignment, and it'll be followed by explanations if we need it. Then practice problems in small groups to go over the concepts. In between classes, depending on how things go, we'll either be able to get working on the next section of material that we need, or individual work to master concepts that were a little bit more difficult. When we come back for our end of the week class, we'll have time to review our work and have group discussions, and maybe small group assignments to really demonstrate mastery. And that's going to be a thing. I like to do a lot of projects normally in school, and since we're going to be doing this all online for a while, we'll tweak the format. It might not be perfect the first couple times we try it, but we're going to do our darndest to make it as enjoyable and really interesting as possible. I'm also available to you guys for all of the office hours and Badger Power Hour time. And you can email me at any time, even when it is not office hours. I do some administrative work at Tucson High because I'm department chair, so I do check email a little bit more often than I should, maybe not so often on the weekends, but I am always available if you have a question or need help with understanding a concept. Normally, my only classroom rule that I start the year with is be excellent to each other. And normally I like to kind of co-create the syllabus with the students, but we do have to make sure there's going to be an extra level of required accountability this year, participating during the 43-minute synchronous class time and participating in all of the online stuff and completing the you-do parts of the assignments. And if anything goes wrong, not getting the work done necessarily, but if the internet goes out, you have a family emergency, that's not a problem. Just shoot me a message. It can be super simple, email from your phone. Don't worry too much about it, but just let me know so we can work out solutions before things get out of hand. That's the one thing I've learned already in this crisis, is that if we can get ahead of a problem, they're way easier to solve. The grading during our digital portion of the class, however long this lasts, is going to be a simplified breakdown. 30% of the points are going to be from our total class time work that we do. An additional 30% of the points are going to be from your individual work time. And 40% of all the points are going to be from assessments. And that could be quizzes, which are like multiple choice stuff. And authentic assessments is what we call it when you do a project that demonstrates that you really understand the concept. Our late work policy for the science department is going to be once an assignment is late, if there's no excused absence reason, it's 15% off. If there is an excused absence, you do get a grace period to finish the assignment, usually for the same number of days that you were out. And that will remain in effect until the unit has ended. Once we're kind of done with the concept, it's not going to be worth really anybody's time to go back and do it. So you do have to stay ahead of that. And how to turn in assignments, the kind of digital places for this, we have the student view Dropbox, which many of you have already used, but we'll also be using the Microsoft Office suite of programs, and those do offer a nice simplified way to get work to me. So it'll be a combination of the two. As of me making this video, Microsoft Office hasn't been fully activated for all of you guys, but hopefully that'll come pretty quickly. The way to log on for everything, if you're already here, I think you must have made it to the Clever page, which is TUSD's gatekeeper. But students, you'll log on to your grades with Student View. And all other platforms like Clever, Zoom, Apex, that's kind of our digital textbook program, and Office 365, and that's your matric number at s.tusd1.org thing, and your password starts out as your matric if you didn't use it much over the summer. If you did use it in the month of July, they have not changed your password back. And parents, you can log into your students' grades using Parent View. Everything else, as far as I understand it, you will have to use your child's credentials to get in through Clever or Office 365 to see everything else. It's going to be different this year, but this is really an opportunity for us to learn. And there's a lot of grace that goes along with it. We've got to have new ways to use technology, new ways to communicate, new ways for us to stay connected as people, even though we are physically separate. And we're going to practice patience and kindness with each other and have to adapt to maximize success. Something will eventually fail. Don't sweat it. It's been happening to all your teachers in the lead up to school. I'm sure it's been happening to your parents as well. Shoot me an email, or whoever you need to shoot an email, as soon as possible. And be patient and kind to yourself. It's not going to be your fault if things fall apart. We're using systems that we have not done robust testing with. And you know what? We stick with it, and we got it. So this is just a short intro talk that you could access before class starts. Otherwise, I'm going to see you guys Monday or Tuesday. And I hope that you have a good first few days of class, and I'll see your shining faces soon. Hope that you have a good one. And I got to find the pause recording button.